Low-level people get low-level treatment. Facts. Low-level people generally refers to individuals in positions of low-rank authority or status within an organization or hierarchy, such as entry-level employees, subordinates, or those with limited decision-making power. It can also describe someone involved in minor or operational hands-on tasks. Organizational rank, someone with little authority, such as an entry-level worker, assistant, or junior staff member. Excuse me. Folks, I'm throwing that out there because on my job, folks have a tendency, without even knowing it, to treat you like you some kind of fucking peon or something. And depending on your value, I guess, to the company, I don't know where it comes from, because I've been up and down the spectrum trying to figure out what motivates people to talk to you a certain way. I had managers and supervisors say shit out their mouth. Had regular coworkers say shit out their mouth, and without provocation. And I'm thinking, what did I do to this person? And I'm pretty sure that it was something that I probably said or something I could have done or whatever. But we never reached that conclusion and never had that discussion. And I know that we as a people can get on each other's nerves for no reason. It can happen. And we kind of lose sight of that. Nobody tries to get down to the nitty-gritty, find out what really happened. But when you are low-level people, you get low-level treatment. And I feel like that's not fair. And you can see that in larger companies, multi-billion dollar companies, where, like, I had a conversation with my OM and my supervisor, and this guy says to me, "Why didn't you just answer the question?" I'm like, well, it wasn't one of those. To me, it's not what I said, but I'm thinking in my head, like, it wasn't one of those questions where I'm just going to answer you, because you're not the boss of me. You're my supervisor, and I am in a lower level position in the company. So, but your position can talk to my position, but you as a man, if this is going to make sense to anybody, you can't talk to me any kind of way. I'm going to answer you outside of my position, if that makes sense. When I was late to work, dude was like, "Hey man, so you was late to work?" I was like, "Yeah." You mind telling me why you was late to work? I'm thinking to myself, who gives a shit? Why does it matter to you why I was late to work? That's what I'm thinking. Because any other time that I was late to work, nobody ever asked. There was times where I was like, so they have a thing about sending people to lunch at a certain time because we have freight or whatever's coming in at a certain time. So they want everybody I'm like at the top. So they want those people, so I come in earlier. They want those people to go to lunch first, so we have enough people on the floor to do the job. And I was like, that's understandable. And so I've been late before, been like 2 hours late to work, and then, or an hour late. And so he wants to try to send me to lunch. And I'm like, well, you miss an hour or 2 hours. You know, it's like that's a lot of money. And so we have a policy also where you have to go to lunch at a certain time, at before you reach a certain time. I'm like, bro, I'm not even gonna make it to that point, so I'm gonna miss money. So I'll be trying to talk. I'm like, yo, man, I don't want to have to go to lunch today. Like, or don't send me lunch so early. So usually you can negotiate that, but I'm not gonna argue the point, But if he, I'll go. If he tell me to go, and he says on this day that I'm late. I was like, yo, bro. I said, man, I was like 2 hours late. I was like an hour and a half late to lunch. Hour and a half late. Like, can you not send me to lunch? He's like, oh man, but I might have to. All right. Well, I'm fine. He said, I don't have nothing for you to do. I was like, you sure? He was like, let me see. All right, well, go check, go do this assignment, go do that. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. But if you absolutely have to send me to lunch, I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna put up a fight. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. It's this argument I'm not gonna win. And so there was no question of why were you late in those situations. It didn't ask me one time, why were you late? And I'm just like, bro, y'all are not consistent with your BS. Come on, bro. And then I tells the manager after talking with the supervisor, he was like, well, after talking with the supervisor, he said, oh, well, the manager wants to know. So why the fuck do he want to know? Why does he want to know? Well, if I can't just tell him I don't know. It's not really your business, for real. Administer the write-up or the point or the freaking coaching or the comment, whatever you're going to do, but you don't really need to know why I was late to work. Stop playing. So he was like, well, I can't just tell him anything. I said, what do you need to tell him in the first place? So I was like, cool. Can I go talk to him? He said, yeah, if you want to go talk to him, go ahead. I said, all right, fine. I go and talk to him and everything. And then same thing. And then I'm just like, what's going on with this hierarchy? What's going on with this, what's going on, period. And he said, well, yeah, why don't you just answer the question? I was like, why do I need to tell him why I was late? He don't need to know that. He don't need to know anything why I was late. He don't need to know, why do we need to know why I was late? I'm late. Any other time I was late, bro, I'm an hour late, hour and a half. Nobody asked me why I was late. Nobody asked any questions of why I was late. Why would you ask now? It's none of your business. It really isn't. So just go ahead and administer the write-up. Well, we want to know. You guys don't care that much. You don't. Because if you're going to cut me a break. You don't need a reason of why I'm late to cut me a break. If you find it in your heart to say, well, hey, man, I'm going to give you a break this time, but next time, you don't need to know why I was late. Stop playing. So, folks, it is a fact. It's something that you can't get around. Lower level people get low level treatment, but when it goes beyond company and you got a supervisor or manager or whoever in their feelings, they just want to be nosy. Stand up for yourself. Stand up for yourself and speak out on the BS and don't let it ride. I'm telling you, don't do that. Because they're going to continue to do it. They're going to continue to do it. Don't let them do you like that. That's pretty much it for this video. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say always stand up for yourself, respectfully, tactfully. It's not going to do any good to lash out, curse, yell, raise your voice. It's not going to do any good. It's going to hurt you. But I would say don't let them step on you. Don't let them make you feel uncomfortable. Don't put up with that. Period. All right, y'all. Y'all be easy and y'all be good. I hope y'all get something out of this. Peace.